Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is our week 4 review of our play of the hand class. And this week we covered the finesse. For those of you that were not in class this week, we are now 1 week behind because we finished covering finesses this week. We're going to start on trumping and dummy and eliminating losers next week. So from your syllabus, we're one off from your syllabus. Okay, thanks, Richard. Okay, so this week in class, what we did was we covered finesses. We went all over finesses. We did half of the finesse class the week before last. Then last week, of course, we didn't have class. Yesterday in class, we did a review of what we had covered the week before and covered some new topics in the finesse book. So the first thing I want to do today is look at to remind ourselves about what we're doing here, which is our making a plan. So let's go to that. Let me bring that up. Okay, can all of you see the making a plan graphic then? For play of the hand, for play of the hand, the most important part of play of the hand class is to learn to make a plan. Make a plan as we're preparing to play the hand, and we do that after the opening lead is done and the dummy comes down. That's when this comes into effect. We make the plan. The first thing we do is assess the situation, and that's just how many tricks do we have to have? How many tricks can we count? The difference between those two is the number that we need to develop somehow. Usually it's one or two, sometimes it's more, but we need to figure out how to develop those. You need to remember that in counting what we're doing, in no trump we count winners. In suit contracts we count losers. In winners, it's obvious we just figure out what winners we have and take those winners. For losers, it's a little bit different in the suit contract. We have to figure out how we can eliminate losers. And eliminating losers, sometimes we get by trumping in dummy. Sometimes we get by throwing on other good cards that are in dummy. So that's our topic that we're covering next week is how to do that. So once you've decided how many tricks you need to figure out how to get, what the difference is, then you come down and browse the checklist. And we've got a checklist of 4 different things we can do to make up tricks, either to make winners or to get rid of losers. The first one is the finesse, which we're going to talk about today. Then promotion and length, which we've already talked about. Promoting cards that are other honors that you will become good after you knock out the top ones. That's promotion. And length is where you just have a long suit. And as you get rid of higher cards in the suit, the lower cards become the winning cards. And then finally is trumping and dummy, and that's what we're going to discuss next week. The final thing that we do is consider the order that you need to do things in. Usually we draw trump first. Sometimes we don't, and if there's a reason not to, we don't do it. We'll talk about that next week. Play the high card from the short side first. This is to keep you from getting trapped on the wrong side. Develop your extra tricks early. Don't cash your good tricks and then try to develop your other tricks. Once you've stripped your hand of the winning tricks and try to develop a trick, the opponents are going to come in with the good tricks that you set up for them, and you won't be able to make your contract. And then be in the right place at the right time. That's a little bit easier said than done sometimes, but that has to do with watching out for your transportation. Are you in the right place? Can you get to the right place that you need to be? So that's what we're talking about and what we're going over as we do all of these things. So then let's focus now on finesses specifically. And in your course book, it starts on page 76. 76 in the course book. And the first thing it talks about is that a finesse is just leading towards the card that you want to win the suit, to win the trick. Here is the most common, the easiest, the most bare version that you can see of a finesse. You've got a king small on one side and two small cards on the other side. You would like for your king to take the trick. But that's going to be kind of hard to do, isn't it? Because the ace is out. But the way you may develop a trick here is if you lead a small card, either the 3 or 2, towards the king, which you want to win. The king is the one that you want to win. So you always lead towards the card that you want to win. So lead a small one towards the king. Now, if the ace is over here on the left-hand side, your king is going to win. If it's on the right-hand side, your king will lose. It's a 50-50 proposition, and there's nothing you can do to influence it. You just have to find out where the card is. So if you lead low, this person will play low, second hand low. If he does not play the ace, you play your king. If he plays any low card, you play your king. And then this person will either win the trick with the ace, or if they do not have the ace, they will play a lower card and your king will win. Now, if you lead a low card and they play the ace, then you just play a low card here and now your king is good. So either way you look at it, if the ace is over here on this side, the left side, if it's in between you and the high card, then your high card can be made good. But if the ace is over here in the right-hand side, instead of winning one trick, you will win no tricks with this suit. There's a possibility you can win one trick with the king if the ace is here. If not, the ace is here, you lose both tricks. Sometimes you have cards on either side and you are finessing for the middle one. In this case, instead of having the king, you're missing the king, but you've got the ace and the queen. What you would like, you will always get one trick with this suit, but what you would like to have is to get two tricks out of this suit. The way to do that is to finesse for the king. So you lead a low card. We always lead low towards what we want to win. You lead low. If the left-hand person puts in the king, you take the ace, and now your queen is good. If the left-hand person plays low, which is what they should do, second hand low, they will play low. You play your queen. If they had the king, your queen is going to win. If the king is over here on the right side, your queen will lose. And that way you will only get to take one trick in the suit. But if this guy has the queen, you'll get to take king. You'll get to take two tricks in the suit, the ace and the queen. Again, 50-50 shot on this. And you can't do anything to influence it. The only thing you can do is you can listen to the bidding. You can see what's been played earlier. And sometimes you can figure out whether or not they're more likely to have the king on one side than the other. But still, the chances of it being on one side or the other are 50-50 to start with. You just may be able to gather enough information to give you an idea of where the king is. If it's on the right side, you know that the finesse is not going to work. If it's on the left side, you know the finesse will work. Here's another example. You've got the ace, king, jack. You're missing the queen. You can finesse for that. It's a little bit deeper, but still, here you're definitely going to get two tricks, right? The ace and the king. You would hope to make the jack good. To do that, you will lead low towards the jack hoping the jack will win. If the left-hand opponent plays the queen, you'll play the king, then your ace and your jack are good. You'll play either the ace or the king. It doesn't make any difference. If, however, you play your 2, this side plays low, now you will play your jack. You will play your jack, hoping it is good, hoping that the left-hand person had the queen. If you play your jack and this person has the queen, the jack will lose. That way you can't get 3 tricks in the suit. You can just get 2 tricks in the suit. Okay, I'm going over now. To page 83. And this is the new part that we picked up this week. Okay, so you sometimes can repeat a finesse. For instance, in this scenario right here, you've got the king, queen, 5, and the 7, 4, 3. You would like to make 2 tricks out of this suit, but the opponents may play the ace on either your king or queen, which means you can only get 1 trick out of this suit. You're guaranteed 1 trick, but you would like to see 2 tricks. To do that, you lead towards the king, queen. And the same as we've discussed before, if the ace is over here, you're going to get 2 tricks. If the ace is over here, you will only get 1 trick. So what happens is you lead the small card towards the ace. If this person does not play the ace, you put in the king or the queen. If this person has the ace, they will take it, and then you'll only get 1 trick in this suit. If this person has the ace and plays it, it's still good. If you play low and they decide to play the ace now, that's fine. You just play low, and now your king, queen are still going to be good. So as long as the ace is over here, just as we talked about in the other finesses, as long as the ace is in between you and the cards you want to win, you're going to be able to make extra tricks good. If it's over here, you cannot. This is a very common example we see. You've got the ace, queen, jack, and 3 little ones. You're missing the king. So if you play low and they do not play the king, you play your jack. And if they had the king and not this person, your jack is going to win. Now you know, oh good, the king is over here. So now you come back to this hand, however you can. You'll need to use another suit to come back to this hand. And now you lead another low card towards this hand, towards the ace queen, which is now left. If he plays the king, you play the ace. If he doesn't play the king, you play the queen. And you know your queen is a good card because this person does not have the king. They would have played it the first time. Then you play your ace, and now you have gotten 3 tricks out of this suit. Again, if the king was over here, you were not going to get 3 tricks. You can get 2 tricks. You'll always get 2 tricks out of this suit, and we hope we can get 3 tricks out of this suit. Finessing against 2 cards is a little bit different, and this is discussed over on page 85. On page 85, it points out to us that by going through these examples, if you are missing the king and the jack, you hope that both of them are over here instead of both being over here. But the more likelihood, before we just had a 50-50 chance, now we're missing 2 cards, in this case, the king and the jack. We've got the ace, king, queen, the ace, queen, 10. We are missing the king and the jack. We would like to make all 3 of these good, which we can do if the king and jack is on one side. We should be able to make at least two of them good, though, if they are split. The way to do this, though, is not to play small and put the queen in. The way to do this is to play small, and you always play the lower of the ones that you want to get. This gives you the most opportunity for winning. For instance, if the king is over here and the jack is over here, then it's not going to make any difference. But if the jack is over here and the king is over here, if you play low, they play low, and you put in the 10, now their king is going to have to win because that's the one that they have. They will win the king, but now your ace and your queen are good. That's why you just need to remember the rule. If this doesn't make sense to you, remember the rule that when you're finessing against two cards, play the lower one first, even though there are two out. And it might seem to make sense. Well, it's a 50-50 shot if I put the queen in. That's correct, it is. But because there's two missing, you increase your chances of getting at least one of them if you play the lower card first. And that way, if he has only the higher one, he's got to play it to win. If this person if he's got both of them, you're only going to get one trick. But if he has the jack and he has the queen, you'll get two tricks. If he has the king and he has the jack, you'll also get two tricks as long as you put the 10 in first. Then you'll have to come back and finesse for the king. Okay, skip over now to page 91. There's several other examples which you can look at in your book, but they all illustrate the example of playing against the lower of the finesses first. Play towards the low one first. Okay, over on page 91, it starts talking about leading a high card. When do you lead the high card first? Well, let's look at this example. This is a very common example of what you see. You've got the ace and two small ones on one side and the queen and two small ones on the other side. And I bring up this illustration because I did this wrong for a long time, which drove my husband, who I play with a lot, crazy because he couldn't see how I couldn't see how to do this. But the only way to ensure yourself that you're only going to get one trick is to play the queen first. Somebody have a question? Okay, is to play the queen first. If you play the queen first, they're going to cover it with the king. Either they'll play the king here and you'll have to play the ace, in which case you only get one trick, the ace. Or if you play the queen and they play low and the king's actually over here, it's going to take the queen. So no matter how you look at it, you are guaranteeing yourself that you're going to lose the queen if you lose the queen. Excuse me, if you lead the queen. The correct way to do this is to take the ace first and play low, and then the same side, play small towards the queen. It's really just kind of a red herring that the ace is there. The ace makes no difference. This is really just you finessing against the queen. If the ace wasn't there, you'd play this the same way. And you can play the ace first or not play the ace first. The book tells you to play the ace first, and that's just in case there's a singleton king. But when you only have 6 cards, the chances of that are very small. So it really doesn't make any difference if you play the ace first or not. The question is, where's the king? If the king is over here, in between where you led from and the queen, you can make the queen good. If the king is over here, you're always going to lose to the king. So when you do not have any other intervening cards, basically you've got an ace and a singleton queen, just the queen sitting over there. Don't let the ace confuse you that the ace is sitting there. Really, what you're finessing for is the king. Where is the king? And that is so you can make your queen good. The ace has nothing to do with it in this case. So if the king is over here, oh, I don't want that. If the king is over here, your queen will win. If the king is over here, your queen will always lose, no matter whether you play the ace first or not. Now, this situation seems a little bit different. Seems a little bit the same, but it is different in that you will be promoting other cards when you lead your queen. So in this case, you do lead your queen first. In this first example, no, because there is nothing to promote. Your queen is just hanging out there by itself. If you lead it first, they'll take the king, and either you'll play the ace and just get one trick, or they'll play the king on the other side, in which case you'll still just get one trick, the ace. In this case, this is different because now you are promoting other cards. So now you can play your queen first. And now we're back to a regular scenario. If this guy over here has the king, then if he plays it, you play the ace. If he plays low, you play low. If the king is over here, the king will win a trick, but you'll still get two tricks out of this suit. He'll get the king, but you'll get two. If the king is over here, you'll get three tricks. You'll play the queen. If he plays the king, you play the ace, and now your jack and 10 are good. If he does not play the king, you leave the queen in and play a low card, in which case your queen wins as long as the left-hand person has the king. Then you come back over and do it again. Now you play the jack or the 10, and he still has to make a decision about whether or not to play his king. If he does, you play the ace and your jack is good. If he doesn't, you let the 10 ride and it will win. So this is, you need to see the difference between this example where you have lower cards beneath the queen and this example where you have nothing beneath the queen. In this example, you lead towards the queen first, and you can play your ace first and then lead towards the queen. That probably makes it easier to see. In this example, we lead the queen first. We lead the queen first so that we can promote the other cards. This is another example of the same kind of thing where we have cards that we want to promote. Here we have the ace, queen, jack, 10. We're just missing the queen. So in this position, we want to do the same thing. We want to take the ace first, lead your high card first, and then come over here and lead the jack. If the queen is over here, if he plays the queen, you play the king, and now your 10 is good. You've made three tricks that way. If he does not play the queen, then you let your jack ride, and if he has the queen, he'll win it. Otherwise, in making your 10 good. Otherwise, if this person has the queen, he'll either have to take it and you play the king, or he lets it go and you play the 3 instead of putting anything else in. So as long as the queen is over here, you will make 3 tricks with this configuration. If the queen is over here, you'll make 2 tricks with this configuration. Okay, that is all that's in the finesse chapter. During class, we played 3 of the hands that are at the back of the book. And each of you should look at those 3 hands and go, they're not at the back of the book, they're at the back of the chapter, starting on, let's see. starting back on page 104, are the example hands for finesses. And you should take a look at these because they're illustrations of how you take the finesse in these different situations. So those are important, and the full explanation is there in the book. Okay, guys, did somebody have a question? No questions? Okay, then that's it for today. Next week in class, we are going to start with the chapter that's on trumping and dummy and eliminating losers. And that is going to explain why we always, in our bidding, why we give extra points to ourselves if we have shortness and dummy. Okay, that's it for today. I will see all of you next Saturday.
Thank you, Sally.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.